The players have been suggested and the selections have been made. It's time to unleash the Elite 100 watch list for 2022. I'm Brandon Meisner, joined by national columnist Chuck Bittner, along with Inside D2 Football host Matt Witwicky. Men, let's take a look at the list. Starting with the quarterbacks, our first team on our Elite 100 watch list is Tyson Bagent. Second team, Ivory Durham, two great players from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have to start with Tyson Bagent, our defending Harlan Hill Trophy winner from last season. 5,000 yards passing, just an exceptional football player, all-around athlete. Really looking forward to seeing what he can do in 2022.
Yeah, and our other guy on the board here, Ivory Durham, just a fantastic athlete where if he gets himself kind of out past the line of scrimmage, out and running, good luck catching on up with him. He's the kind of athlete that a lot of coaches have kind of expressed to me that he would be probably playing at a Georgia or a school like that if he wasn't just a little bit undersized at 5'9". But man, he's going to make a difference this year, and he's going to try and take Valdosta all the way.
We move to running backs. Toriano Clinton and TJ Cole are first teamers, while Michael Zeman and Dwayne McGee are members of the second team.
Yeah, as we take a look on this group here, Toriano Clinton's the one that really stands out for me right now, Brandon. A guy who's going to be with an offense that I think is going to really have their way through the GLVC, and I think that he's going to put up some really good numbers. One of the best backs in the country a year ago as well.
And TJ Cole on this list, with a player who played in a Wichita offense that has a lot of contributing running backs, but he had over 1,500 yards in 2021. He should have a huge season heading into 2022. And Dwayne McGee from Lenore-Rhyme was just a freshman last year.
Looking at the wide receivers, first teamers are Danny Kittner and David Durden. The second team is Armani Carmichael and Brendan Bolio. Whit, maybe you should handle this one since this is a majority of your conference.
Yeah, three guys from the Northern Sun, actually all three from the North Division as well. The conference got really pass happy this last season, and these three guys really took advantage of it. And obviously, Kittner had video game numbers. It'll be hard for him to repeat that, but Carmichael and Bolio are a little bit more down the field guys. Can't wait to see him perform this year.
Moving on to tight end, Hunter Budke, Fort Hayes, and Kyle Morlock from Shorter are our first and second teamers.
And Hunter Budke was on our Elite 100 list last year, and as you can see just from the photo, he really does have the tight end build to play the position. Just a big body, excellent at going up and getting contested catches, and should have a big season for Fort Hayes.
We move to offensive line. Brent Lang, Quentin Barrow, B.J. Wilson, Elijah Reed, and Gottlieb Aidze are on the first team. On the second team are Joey Fisher, Blake Larson, James Walker, Matt Armendariz, and Michael Jarrell.
Yeah, when I take a look at this group, Brandon, Brett Lang obviously jumps off the page for me. I've covered him with Duluth. He's the top-rated offensive lineman currently by Josh Buchanan, our small college scout. So he's the immediately guy that I look out for when I see this list.
And Matt Armendariz from Colorado School of Mines from the center position was actually the Remington Award winner last season, which is awarded to the nation's top center. So definitely a player to keep an eye on in 2022. And Michael Jarrell from Findlay, one of many big bodies on that Findlay Oilers offensive line.
On the opposite side of the ball, Deshaun McCarthy, Zach Howard, Caleb Murphy, and Joshua Pryor are first teamers, while Jeff Marks, Seti Dashiel, Brian Holiday, and Charlie Cleveland are on the second team.
And Northwest Missouri State had one of its defensive linemen selected in the NFL draft last year, but they return a first-team Elite 100 player in Zach Howard, just an exceptional player, plays with a very explosive first move, has a really incredible arm strength to move offensive linemen. And Caleb Murphy from Ferris State is actually one of the first Division II players on the potential draft boards that we might be looking at the end of the season. And Joshua Pryor may actually be the best player on the defensive side or on the defensive line in Division II football.
The linebacking core consists of Carter Duxbury, Con Fitzpatrick, Malik Hall, Abe Swanson, Ben Stratman, and Michael Ayers on the first and second teams.
Yeah, when I look at this group, Brendan, I've got two names who jump off for me. Obviously, Carter Duxbury really came on the scene for Winona this last season, getting to the quarterback quite a bit, coming off the edge. But we also have Malik Hall, who's a guy who covers sideline to sideline for southeastern Oklahoma, a player that is going to become a household name.
Michael Ayers is a name that steps out for me. He was the GMAC Defensive Player of the Year in 2021. Exceptional player, was also on the Cliff Harris Award watch list. So we'll be watching him.
In the secondary, on the first team is Tristan Rankin, Nick Whiteside, Dylan Davis, and Eli Weber. On the second team are Cade Pugh, Mason Pierce, Raymond Boone, and Darius Swanson.
A lot of turnovers accounted for on this slide, leading with Tristan Rankin, the first name on this list. He was just a young player in the Mars Hill secondary, a vastly improved Mars Hill defense last year, and he was a really big part of it. Created a lot of turnovers, a lot of disruption in that secondary. And again, he was a very young player last year, so very excited to see what he does with another year of development.
Eli Weber has been a tremendous contributor for the Augustana defense, a guy that they felt so good about that they moved him from safety down a little bit more to the box because of what a good tackler he is. Just a tremendous player, and a similar profile for Nebraska Kearney's Darius Swanson, another guy who's a tremendous tackler and a real difference maker on their defense.
Let's look now at our squad members who were not assigned to the first or second team. Let's start with the quarterback groups. We have Chris Brim, Cooper Callis, TJ Davis, Harrison Frost, John Matoka, Logan Nelson, and Brandon Alt.
TJ Davis is a talent that once you get a chance to watch him, hard to forget. Just the kind of guy who can really control a football game, won them a playoff game as a result of his abilities. We also have a guy like Harrison Frost on here who isn't a household name for all in D2, but a guy who had a tremendous year last year for West Georgia throwing the football.
A lot of these names got a lot of attention last year, and for justifiable reasons. But Cooper Callis was probably a name that didn't get talked about a whole lot, probably because Southwest just didn't have a very good season. I think it finished 4-7 overall. But Cooper Callis is an outstanding quarterback. Really, really good arm, smart with the football, really good touchdown to interception ratio. Could really help take Southwest to the next level.
Lots of talented quarterbacks. We've got a handful of talented running backs as well. Throw Reisdorfer, Demetrius Battle, Emmanuel Wilson, Jordan Terrell, Seth McGill, and Josh Cummings.
How about a player from a first-year program on this list? Barton was a first-year program last year. Jordan Terrell was actually probably a contender who could have been one of the best running backs in all of D2 football. He certainly had the numbers to back that up. I'm really excited to see what he can do in his second season, not just as a member of that team, but a second season for that program, especially as Barton enters the South Atlantic Conference, where they'll have a lot more opportunities to showcase his talent. And Seth McGill at Valdosta State, that seems like a name we've been talking about for about 5 or 6 years. He's back for yet another season with another year of weight training and agilities. I think he's going to have a huge season for Valdosta.
Josh Cummings is a name that I'd like to speak to on this list. He had a whole heck of a lot to do with their success in making the playoffs and having a great year in the RMAC they did a season ago. He's poised to have another big season, so that's a guy to look out for out in Super Region 4.
Moving to wide receiver, we have Elijah Harper, Keelan Harris, Jalen Sample, and Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, Kalen Harris is a guy that immediately gets my attention here, Brandon. He's at the top of the D2 skill position boards for the NFL. Guy's going to runs a 4.440, 1,000-yard wideout. Just a fantastic player in an offense that's really going to feature him as well. So he's a guy to keep an eye out for.
The tight ends on our squad are Dagan Ranks, Mike Riegerman, and Tice Nelson.
Tice Nelson from Mars Hill is almost a utility player. He can do a little bit of everything. Plays the tight end position, also plays a little bit out of the H-back type of formation. Excellent hands, very soft hands receiving the ball. He can also rush the ball out of the backfield and even throw the ball from time to time as well. He's a huge part of that Mars Hill offense. And Mike Riegerman for Findlay is a player that just seems to show up with a big play when they really need it the most.
The 10 linemen who are on the squad are Jeremiah Campbell, Nicholas Millsop, Hayden Huddla, Mark Murphy, Grant Smith, Christopher Strouder, Peyton Stafford, Adam Seiler, Quentin Bobo, and Nick Beans.
Yeah, Brennan, when I see this group, the immediate thought I have is with a lot of this squad we're looking at, meaning the guys we didn't have first and second team, so many of this group you could really look at along with those first and second teamers interchangeably. You'll notice here two guys from Bowie State, Mark Murphy and Quentin Bobo. Shows a little bit of why they've gotten themselves in the playoffs the last few seasons.
On the D-line, we've added Landon Urban, Michael Slater, Zach Hester, and Kyle Smith.
And Kyle Smith from Shepherd is a player who just excels at making tackles behind the line of scrimmage. That's been really his specialty for the last couple seasons for the Rams.
A lot of great linebackers round out the squad. Jackson Taylor, Landon Honeycutt, Benjamin Honeyus, Jamion Gaskin, Kiave Guerriere, Jaquan Edwards, PJ Sarwinski, Stephon Pierre, Zolly Kaplan, Peyton Chappell, John Ross May, and Richard Jordan all make the team.
A lot of names on this list that potentially could be first or second teamers by the time we get to the end of the season. Stephon Pierre from Albany State was actually Defensive Player of the Year in the SIAC a year ago. Landon Honeycutt from Mars Hill, another one of those players who really helped transform that Mars Hill defense a year ago, made that into a very formidable unit. And John Ross May from Lenore Ryan, another in a long line of outstanding and very explosive defensive football players for the Lenore Ryan Bears.
PJ Sarwinski for Pitt State has been a top tackler for their squad, and a squad that very well be in the playoff mix this year. Along with, if I look over at Bemidji State, we've got Zolly Kaplan here. Kaplan, tons of tackles for loss, really came on strong this last season himself.
In the defensive backfield, we have Markel Daly, Tyler Richardson, and DJ Sturgis.
Yeah, DJ Sturgis is a name that has kind of gone off the radar a little bit. People aren't familiar with him. He is one of the top DBs when it comes to potential draft perspective. So when we look at this guy, he runs a 4.40. He's going to be a guy that you're going to be hearing about a little bit closer to draft time.
And finally, we look at our special teams. On the first team, we have Anthony Beatco, Miles Prosser, and James Letcher. On the second team, we have Cross Holmes, Clayton Cryle, and Jamar Tompkins. And on our squad, we have Alfred Greer.
Anthony Beatco was on our Elite 100 a year ago as a place kicker. Miles Prosser, a punter from North Greenville, excels at getting those punts down inside the 20. And Alfred Greer on our squad as a kick returner and an all-purpose player for Angelo State might be one of the most explosive offensive football players in the country. Exceptional kick returner, punt returner, and also out of the backfield as well.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Matt. There you have it, folks. Congratulations to the 100 players who made the D2Football.com Elite 100 watch list. And remember, this is just a watch list. If your name is not on the list, you still have a chance to draw our attention during the regular season. Again, congratulations to all the players who made the D2Football.com Elite 100 watch list.